अस्सलाम वालेकुम वेलकम टू बायोनर्ड। ये टॉपिकल पास्ट पेपर एमसीक्यूज़ की सिक्स्थ वीडियो है। इससे पहले 5 वीडियोस अपलोड कर दी गई हैं जिसमें होम्योस्टेसिस, जेनेटिक्स एंड इनहेरिटेंस, ट्रांसपोर्ट इन ह्यूमन, एवोल्यूशन, रिप्रोडक्शन एंड स्पोर्ट एंड मूवमेंट, इनके पिछले 12 ईयर्स के एमसीक्यूज़ अपलोड कर दिए गए हैं। आज की वीडियो में हम नर्वस कोऑर्डिनेशन के टॉपिक से जितने भी एमसीक्यूज़ आए हैं पिछले 12 ईयर्स में उनको डिस्कस करेंगे। तो शुरू करते हैं। फर्स्ट एमसीक्यू, द कंट्रोल ऑफ nervous system control the several automatic functions like breathing, heart rate and blood pressure. You know very well that medulla oblongata control most of the involuntary functions, especially breathing, heart rate, blood pressure, and also the vomiting and peristalsis. So medulla oblongata is also known as breathing center, respiratory center, or the vomit center. Okay. Question number 2, respiratory center is located in. Where the respiratory center is located, I've already told you that it is medulla. So Charlie will be the better option. Question number 3, the part of brain which controls breathing, heart rate and swallowing. Again, the MCQ is same. The Charlie will be the medulla. तो देखें 2008, 11 और 12 रेगुलर जो है ये रिपीट हो रहा है एमसीक्यू। इसका मतलब है कि ये एमसीक्यू रिपीट हो सकते हैं, तो गौर से सुनेंगे इनको एंड तक अच्छे से। क्वेश्चन नंबर 4, thalamus and cerebrum are the part. You know very well that they are the part of forebrain, so beta will be the right option. Question number 5, the right and left cerebral hemispheres are connected by a thick band of nerve fibers. So here the answer will be corpus callosum. Okay, corpus callosum is the large band of axon that connect the two cerebral hemispheres. And if he asks, the two cerebral hemispheres are separated from each other through, then answer will be okay. See here, फिर answer क्या होगा? Let's suppose here is the right cerebral hemisphere and here is the left cerebral hemisphere, and you can see a gap present between them. This gap or this depression is separating these two cerebral hemisphere, and it is named as longitudinal fissure. Longitudinal fissure. Fissure means depression, longitudinal means along the length. So longitudinal fissure is responsible for the separation of these two cerebral hemisphere. Two more terms. Listen here. In cerebrum, many convolutions you can see easily. Now if we talk about these convolutions, just like this, in convolutions these peaks are known as gyri. Gyri is the plural and gyrus is singular. While between these two peaks, the depression which is present, this depression is known as sulcus. Sulcus singular and sulci, that is plural. So gyrus, sulcus and longitudinal fissure. I think you got the point. Okay. Question number 6. If we talk about question number 6, the part of brain which guides the smooth and accurate motions and maintain the body position is called. The answer will be cerebellum. आप जानते हैं कि बॉडी की जो पोजीशन को मेंटेन रखना है, इक्विलिब्रियम को मेंटेन रखना है, दैट इज द फंक्शन ऑफ cerebellum. And just remember that cerebellum is most developed in, the answer will be birds. Even if we ask midbrain is most developed in, again the answer will be birds. So midbrain and cerebellum are most developed parts in which animals? The answer will be birds. Okay. Next. Question number 7. If we talk about 7, the part of hindbrain responsible for the balance and equilibrium, you know very well, that is cerebellum. अब देखें MCQ again repeat हुआ है. Brain is protected and enclosed in. Cranium is present outside the brain, and vertebral column give protection to the spinal cord. Okay. The humans have homeostatic thermostat. Thermostat we have already studied in the chapter homeostasis. that hypothalamus act as thermostat and control the body temperature or regulate the body temperature. Question number 10, the CNS is protected by CNS and spinal cord both are protected by three layers of meninges. You know very well the outermost layer is dura mater, the middle layer is arachnoid matter, and inner layer is pia mater. And between the arachnoid matter and pia matter, CSF, cerebrospinal fluid, is present. Let's pause. Here is the outermost layer, that is dura mater. Here is the middle layer, that is arachnoid matter, and here is the pia mater. So between the middle and inner layer, the arachnoid and pia mater, CSF, cerebrospinal fluid, is present. Okay. Question number 11, white matter of spinal cord is made up of white matter, which is the outer part of spinal cord you had studied. It contains myelinated nerve fibers only, while the gray matter, that is butterfly shape, that is present inside the spinal cord, it contains non-myelinated nerve fibers and as well as cell bodies. So cell bodies are present where in this gray matter, and myelinated nerve fibers are present where the answer will be white matter, and non-myelinated nerve fibers are present where the answer will be gray matter. Okay. The next, band of axons between two hemisphere we had already studied, that is corpus callosum. Don't confuse with the corpus luteum. Corpus luteum is not present in the brain, it is present in the female ovary, which is formed during the menstrual cycle by the ruptured follicle. Okay, it is a yellowish glandular structure, so don't confuse corpus luteum with the corpus callosum. Okay. 13, the reflexes of eyes is detected by, the answer will be midbrain. In the Punjab textbook, the book, it has been written that midbrain control the reflex movement of eyes. So reflex movement of eyes are controlled by the midbrain. Okay. Question number 14. Spinal cord is protected by how many layers of meninges? I have already told you that brain and spinal cord both are protected by three layers of meninges. So answer will be Charlie 3. Now, the peripheral nervous system. What is peripheral nervous system? A mixed nerve consists of obviously three types of nerve you have studied. Number one is the sensory nerve. Sensory nerve contain only the sensory fibers. Motor nerves contain only the motor fibers, while the mixed nerve contain both the fibers, sensory as well as motor fibers. So the answer will be alpha motor and sensory nerve fibers. Okay. If we talk about the question number 16, overactivity of sympathetic nervous system causes. Listen carefully. Sympathetic nervous system क्या करता है? Sympathetic nervous system, पहले तो मैं बात सुने जरा, सुनना है और से. सिंपैथेटिक नर्वस सिस्टम इमरजेंसी में, स्ट्रेस में एक्टिवेट होता है. जब आप किसी स्पेशल वन को देखते हैं तो एकदम से जिस्म में लहर तोड़ती है और हार्ट बीट तेज हो जाती है, ब्लड प्रेशर ज़्यादा हो जाता है. यस, ये जो सारी चीज़ें हैं ये कब होती हैं? जब सिंपैथेटिक नर्वस सिस्टम एक्टिवेट होता है. तो इसका मतलब है कि सिंपैथेटिक नर्वस सिस्टम की वजह से ब्लड प्रेशर ने तो इंक्रीज होना है, डिक्रीज तो नहीं होना. तो चार्ली तो आंसर नहीं हो सकता भाई. डिस्टर्बेंस इन विजन ये भी नहीं हो सकता है. जब आप स्पेशल वन को देखते हैं और सिंपैथेटिक नर्वस सिस्टम एक्टिवेट होता है तो विजन में डिस्टर्बेंस नहीं आती बल्कि विजन में एक्यूरेसी आ जाती है. यस, क्योंकि सिंपैथेटिक नर्वस सिस्टम हमारी प्यूपिल को डायलेट कर देता है, तो लिहाजा डिस्टर्बेंस तो नहीं आने वाली, ये तो बल्कि विजन को मजीद एक्यूरेट कर देगा. यस. कॉन्स्टिपेशन किसी हद तक आप सोच सकते हैं, क्योंकि सिंपैथेटिक नर्वस सिस्टम क्या करता है, पेरिस्टाल्टिक एक्टिविटी को स्लो डाउन करता है. लेकिन जाहिर सी बात है सिंपैथेटिक नर्वस सिस्टम तो कुछ टाइम तक ही एक्टिवेट रहता है जब तक स्ट्रेस सिचुएशन है. तो कुछ टाइम के लिए अगर ये एक्टिवेट होगा तो ये कॉन्स्टिपेशन कॉज नहीं कर पाएगा. इससे ज़्यादा बेटर ऑप्शन हमें डेल्टा नज़र आ रही है. दिल का धक धक करना, जोर से धक धक करना, increase in heart rate. That is the function of sympathetic nervous system. So the answer will be delta. 17, the number of cranial nerves in human. You know very well that 12 pairs of cranial nerves are present in the human body. So Charlie will not be the right option because he is talking about the 24 pairs. 24 pairs are not present. 24 cranial nerves are present. So the answer will be beta here. The 12 pairs of cranial nerves are present in human body. Okay. Question number 18. Which one of the following is the effect of sympathetic nervous system? I have already told you. What is the effect of sympathetic nervous system? When you see someone special, that sympathetic nervous system causes dilates the pupil. Why dilates the pupil? ताकि आप सही एक्यूरेसी के साथ देख सकें. किसको देख सकें? Someone special. Yes. जब आप देखते हैं तो आपका हार्ट बीट तेज हो जाती है, कम नहीं होती है. तो बीटा तो आंसर नहीं हो सकता, इसको पता ही कुछ नहीं है सवाल पूछने वाले को. कंस्ट्रिक्शन ऑफ ब्रोंकाई, ब्रोंकाई भी कंस्ट्रिक्ट नहीं होते, ब्रीथिंग भी ज़्यादा हो जाती है, सांस तेज तेज चलना शुरू हो जाती है. सब ने एक्सपीरियंस किया होगा. तो कंस्ट्रिक्शन नहीं होती है, डायलेशन होती है ब्रोंकाई की. ओके. प्रोमोट्स डाइजेशन ऑफ पेरिस्टालसिस. नो, पेरिस्टालसिस का होश किसको रहता है? डाइजेशन इनहिबिट हो जाती है. सिर्फ एक ही ऑप्शन है, डायलेट्स द प्यूपिल to increase the accuracy of vision. Yes. Okay. Next MCQ. बस बस वापिस आ जाए, वापिस आ जाए, वापिस आ जाए बस. Which of the following receptor produce sensation of pain? You know very well that the answer will be beta nociceptors. They are responsible for receiving the sensation of pain. 20. When your finger accidentally gets caught in the door, the pain message is sent to your brain through. Obviously, sensory neurons are responsible for transferring the messages from receptor to the brain. You know very well that sensory neuron receive message from the receptor and transmit to the brain or the spinal cord. Okay, so here the answer will be sensory neuron. Mechanoreceptor detect stimulus of obviously mechanical stimulus. So the mechanical stimulus is pressure or the touch. So Charlie will be the best option. 22. The effectors in the human body which respond to a stimulus are effectors, maybe the gland or maybe the muscle. So the best option which be Charlie, both muscles and glands will be the effectors. 23. Which structure respond when they are stimulated by impulse coming through motor neuron? Motor neuron always transmit impulses towards the effector to show the response. Okay. 24. The part of neuron fiber which conducts the nerve impulses away from the cell body. कौन सा पार्ट है जो सेल बॉडी से अवे मैसेज को लेकर जाता है? सारे जानते हैं एक्सोन कैरी impulses away from the cell body, but here you can see a term that is peripheral branch. So what is peripheral branch? See here, concentrate here. थोड़ी देर बात कर लेना यार, जो भी कर रहे पहले यहाँ देखो. Here you can see the receptor, and this fiber is taking message from receptor and carrying it towards the cell body. So the neuron fiber which carry impulse from receptor to the cell body is known as dendron, and dendron is also known as the peripheral branch. Why we are calling it the peripheral branch? Because receptors are present throughout the periphery or the boundary of the human body. So peripheral branch is the fiber of sensory neuron which take message from the receptors through all the periphery or the boundary of the body and transmit to the cell body. So that's why dendron is also known as peripheral branch. Now the next branch is which is taking message from the cell body and transmitting to the spinal cord. That is known as axon as well as central branch, because this branch is taking message towards the central nervous system. Spinal cord is a part of central nervous system. So axon is also known as central branch and dendron is known as peripheral branch. The peripheral branch and central branch, these two terms are written in the Punjab textbook. Okay. So here the answer will be, what will be the answer? Listen here भाई, यहाँ कंसंट्रेट करें, थोड़ी देर बात कर लेना यार, थोड़ी देर बात कर लेना. यहाँ देखो भाई, अगर ये डिस्कशन सुनोगे, एमसीक्यू ठीक होंगे, एडमिशन होगा, डॉक्टर बनोगे, तो ही अगली मंजिल आसान होगी. तो फोकस यहाँ करें. 24. The part of neuron fiber which conduct nerve impulses away from the cell body. So the answer will be axon or the central branch. Now, 25. The structures which respond when they are stimulated by impulse coming through the motor neuron. I have already told you that answer will be effectors. You know very well. You're very smart. Pick out the pressure receptor. Pressure receptors, obviously the mechanoreceptors, because mechanoreceptor receive the mechanical stimulus, and that mechanical stimulus is maybe the touch or the pressure. So mechanoreceptor will be the right option. Beta 27. Which of the following produce response? Effector. कितनी बार पूछोगे भाई? Effector produce response. Yes. 28. How many sodium ions are pumped out in response to two potassium ion transported? You know very well that sodium potassium ADPase pump. Sodium potassium ADPase pump transmit 3 sodium outside the cell and 2 potassium inside the cell. So here the answer will be 3, the 3 sodium outside the cell. Taste buds on the tongue are obviously chemoreceptor. Obviously chemoreceptor, they detect the chemical stimulus. Okay, reflex arc and reflex action. Reflex action is the phenomenon which only involves, usually the reflex action doesn't involve brain, so alpha option is not correct. Charlie option is also not correct because both contain brain. Delta is not correct because it does not contain spinal cord. Spinal cord is the main part of reflex action, so beta will be the best option here. Receptor, effector, and spinal cord. Nerve impulse. What is nerve impulse? You know very well. During resting membrane potential, when you are at rest, then membrane is positively charged from outside and negatively charged from inside. Yes, but when nerve impulse is generated and action membrane potential establishes, then membrane become negatively charged from outside and positively charged from inside. So here delta will be the right option. Okay. 32. A typical neuron at rest. When you are at rest, then membrane is positive outside and negative inside. So alpha will be the best option here. Conduction of action potential from one node of Fenway to another in myelinated neurons is true. Myelinated neurons में नोड से जो नर्व इम्पल्स ट्रांसमिट हो रही है फ्रॉम वन नोड टू अनदर नोड, सॉल्टेटरी कंडक्शन. सॉल्टेटरी कंडक्शन का एमसीक्यू बहुत ज़्यादा मर्तबा पूछा गया है. क्यों? क्योंकि वो जानता है सॉल्टेटरी कंडक्शन की इंपॉर्टेंस. सॉल्टेटरी कंडक्शन की वजह से ही मैसेज तेज़ी के साथ ट्रांसमिट हो जाता है, और आप तो जानते ही हैं मैसेज का तेज़ी के साथ ट्रांसमिट होना बहुत ज़रूरी है. अगर मैसेज की स्पीड स्लो हो और रिप्लाई देर से पहुंचे तो उसके बाद क्या होता है? माफ़ी मांगनी पड़ती है. तो जल्दी मैसेज का पहुंचना बहुत ज़रूरी है भाई रिलेशंस के लिए. तो सॉल्टेटरी कंडक्शन दैट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर ट्रांसमिटिंग नर्व इम्पल्स एट वेरी हायर रेट. ओके, सो डेल्टा. Just know the importance of saltatory conduction and pay thanks to myelin sheath. It is playing role in maintaining your relation healthy. 34. Okay, 34. In the following diagram of action potential X, what is showing the X? X is showing the depolarization because now the curve is going towards the plus 50 millivolts. So answer will be depolarization. Depolarization is in alpha. So alpha is the right option. Nerve impulse will jump from node to node. मैं पहले बता चुका हूँ node to node, that is saltatory nerve impulse. बहुत मर्तबा एमसीक्यू आया है. Again when a nerve impulse jump from one node भाई बहुत important है ये alpha saltatory conduction. If stimulation is above dash, oh very important MCQ. If stimulation is above dash, impulses travel to the brain along the sensory neuron. Above the threshold, what stimulus is above the threshold? फॉर एग्जाम्पल एक तरफ मेरी आवाज़ है, दैट इज सब थ्रेशोल्ड, और एक तरफ उनकी आवाज़ है, ऑब्वियसली दैट इज थ्रेशोल्ड. दैट विल जनरेट द नर्व इम्पल्स. जैसे ही उनकी आवाज़ आपके कानों में आएगी तो जिस्म में लहरें दौड़ पड़ेंगी. और लहरें क्या हैं? नर्व इम्पल्सेस. सो थ्रेशोल्ड स्टिमुलस इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर ट्रांसमिटिंग द नर्व इम्पल्स, कन्वर्ट द आरएमपी इनटू एएमपी. एंड व्हाट इज दैट थ्रेशोल्ड? Voice of someone special. Threshold. You understand better than me. Beta. 38. In action potential, the permeability of sodium ions in the neuron increases due to, obviously, when you see someone special, that is the threshold stimulus. Ultimately, the sodium gates not the gates of your heart. Obviously, gates of your heart also open, but here we are talking about the opening of sodium channels, in which result RMP convert into AMP. Okay, synapse. Which of the following neurotransmitter lie outside the central nervous system? One and only, that is acetylcholine. It works outside the central nervous system. Acetylcholine का MCQ भी बहुत मर्तबा आया है. Again, the answer will be acetylcholine because he is talking about outside the central nervous system. Question number 41. In nervous system, chemical messengers are neurotransmitters. Beta is the right option. Yes, you are right. 42. The main neurotransmitter for synapses is which outside the. Oh भाई कितनी मर्तबा पूछोगे? Delta acetylcholine. Acetylcholine and noradrenaline are two types of neurotransmitter. Delta is the right option. तो ये थी जी अब तक की डिस्कशन. मेरी दुआ है आप लोगों के लिए कि आपको थ्रेशोल्ड स्टिमुलस मिलता रहे. यस, ताकि आपके बॉडी में लहरें दौड़ती रहें. यू नो व्हाट आई वांट टू से. ओके, अल्लाह हाफिज़. बेस्ट विशेस फॉर फ्यूचर.